Morning everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Sk. You hear some loud fans running in the background. That's because we just switched on our winter ventilation mode, and that means the chimneys in the top of the roof are going instead of our tunnel ventilation because it's getting pretty cold out here in Saskatchewan now. We got a couple more days that are above freezing, and we're really gonna enjoy them out here. We're just waiting for the first couple ladies to come into the holding area. We'll get milk. And we got the usual two groups in the barn, the special needs pack, but we also have a fourth group this morning, which is cows we're going to dry off tomorrow, and they're just getting milked once a day for now. So the next part of this video, we're going to be working on some ventilation stuff in the cow barn. Since those colder temps are approaching, we gotta put the insulation bats in the exhaust fans. These are for the tunnel ventilation, and we gotta put those insulation bats in there, make sure it stays warm over winter. And then we got two chimney fans that we want to get fixed. That one blew up last winter when it was really cold. Ice falls in from those chimneys. I don't know if you guys can see, but that electric motor is kind of just hanging there. So I think we got a brand new electric motor. So there's two of those fans we got to try and replace. And I also want to adjust the curtains at the front of this barn. It looks like this is, we're close to being 4 years in this barn, and the cables that hold those curtains up have maybe stretched a little bit, and they're not sealing perfectly on the top anymore. So it's key that all the ventilation is set perfectly right before it all freezes, just so that there's no cold air leaking into the barn. That's not the end of the world, it just makes it difficult to ventilate the entire thing, because if there's air leaking in some spot, you tend to keep the temperature of the entire barn a little bit hotter, and that leads to other issues. So we want to make it all perfect, and then we can bring the temperature in this barn to maybe 2 degrees Celsius in the winter, and that's going to be the best for our doors and the cows, and it'll keep the barn less foggy as well. So that's the goal here. We're starting, of course, with the best part, putting the insulation bats in the exhaust fans. Then we're also going to put the tarps on right away as well. Well, it's a bit windy out this morning, but we'll see how it goes. We got 14 of them on the ground level, and then 2 in the pack barn over there that are up in the air, and those are probably 8 feet off the ground at the bottom, so bit of a reach. Maxime, he's gonna grab the case wheel loader and lift me up from the inside. We got that side in, went a little bit difficult, but got it figured out. That's because we put those insulation bats in last fall, and then that door was actually installed in December, so the insulation bats were already in there. We took them off already and stuff like that. So that door opener, the motor and stuff, is on the other side, and it's kind of blocking this corner of these louvers on the other side, which made it kind of difficult. So I think this side's going to be a bit easier. Can always hope anyway. Well, it was fun. We got them both in. There's got to be an easier way to do this. I think the easiest thing a guy could do is buy one of those proper man lifts, and that would make jobs like this a lot easier. But that costs a lot of money, and it's not always laying around, so it's just how it is sometimes. Just pull it down over. We finished those tarps outside, got the last one on there. We are missing one, and one ripped, unfortunately. So we're just gonna try to fix the fan now. Last winter that thing broke. I feel like I said that I was gonna fix it in a day or two when it did happen, but here we are 8 months later, gonna get to work on it finally. So got the spare blades that we need, hopefully, and everything else. We'll see if we can get it fixed with just that stuff right there. So this is our fan. There's only one blade left on it. I just flicked the switch over there, and this thing definitely still works. The motor's still good, but you can see all these are steel brackets that snapped off, and one of them is still holding it on this side, and the other side of this motor is hanging on by the wire. So it is in rough shape. There's brackets on the motor here, unfortunately, that snapped off. Those are steel as well, it looks like. So crazy that all broke. That must have been one heck of a noise when this thing did go. But I'm gonna try to take this assembly off the front. We'll put one together on the ground and try and just lift it up here, swap it out. I'll have to bring some wiring stuff with me and see what we can do. Well, that came off so easily. It didn't take me an hour, but got her down. I'll have to reassemble a new one completely, and then hopefully I can just put it back up there. Well, this is our brand new motor. I took the cap off the old one, unwired it. There's a hole in the side here. We're just gonna stick the old wire in. Already got the old fan assembly up here as well. So we're gonna try and get this thing ready to go. And then maybe after this afternoon's milking, we can get it back up there and get one of the two running right away. We do have another fan in the barn that isn't working, but we can't get our hands on a motor right now. They're back ordered. Everything's back ordered these days. But anyway, hopefully we can get one of them going, then we'll have 9 out of 10 going into winter. Well, as far as I know, should be able to put this thing up there, wire it in, and it should be good to go. Seems to be pretty balanced. I don't know. We'll find out when she fires up. Another thing I got to get done for our ventilation is close this window in these straw packs. We put this in last summer when we expanded the pack barn. Should be pretty easy. Next thing we're gonna fix is the actuators in the parlor barn. That's the actual actuator, and then these are the inlets. So all the inlets down this entire 400-foot barn are all connected to this steel wire right here, and they make a 90 around these wheels that are screwed into the roof. And this wheel pulled out here this week. So I first noticed the inlets were not exactly lined up. The one side was more open than the other, and then I looked over here. So we're just gonna take all the tension off of this, I think. That's gonna be the best move. And then we will have to find a new piece of wood to screw into up here in the roof somewhere. Well, we got it re-screwed into the roof. I had to move it a little bit, so I'm gonna have to adjust the wire on the actuator now, and then hopefully we'll be good. So I'm just gonna pull it 100% shut, and that'll be kind of my set point. The one side is not gonna go 100% shut, because I moved it over a little bit and gave it a bit of slack. But this is our main ventilation controller for the parlor barn. So we always just go to maintenance, manual override, actuators, west inlet, east inlet, and we go to 0%. Okay, you can see the left side is still like 4 inches open. Have to pull that tight. Well, there was a lot of guessing involved in how I just got these inlets to line up, but we got them, so hopefully they're good. What I ended up doing was opening the inlets just a crack, and then I went back to where they're hooked up to the actuator, the actual wire itself, and I tightened it as tight as I could with my hands. I knew there was no way I was going to be able to get it as tight as, you know, perfect, so just giving myself a little bit of room, getting it as tight as possible, and then closing it again was what allowed me to get them all perfectly shut on both ends. So hopefully this lasts for a while. So we got the inlets done, we got the insulation bats and tarps on those exhaust fans done, and we got this guy rebuilt completely. Pretty good day in terms of fixing ventilation in the barn and getting things ready for winter. I'll see you guys tomorrow when we put this fan back in the roof. So the next day we're sitting around 0 degrees. We got the curtains open on the front of the barn. We're just trying to lift them up a little bit. The reason we're doing this, when they're all the way shut, there's a little crack on top. And I think after a few years of being in this barn, these wires have stretched a little bit on the front. And so we're just gonna adjust them a little bit so there's no cold air leaking in the barn all winter long. So we just got some 2x4s, stuck them underneath where the curtain is gonna touch the ground, and that should keep it lifted up and put some slack on all these wires. There's 5 lines or points where the lines are holding the curtains, so let's hope this works good and they don't snap on me. So that gave me quite a bit of slack on these lines. Now I'm gonna try and put them all up 5 millimeters roughly, and that should be plenty. This is the first panel I adjusted, and it is looking really good. Almost no air leaks on the top. I'll show you guys the side I didn't do yet. You can very clearly see on top it's all the way shut, and there's still a massive crack there. So that's what I'm trying to fix here. You know, if that's minus 40 degree air in the middle of winter, it doesn't look like a big crack, but you'll definitely see the temperature drop on this side of the barn. And if one side of your barn is a lot cooler than the other, then the whole temperature of the barn needs to be higher. And I think that leads to more condensation forming on the doors, which leads to more ice. And then the doors have more issues. It's just a domino effect when you have one thing in the ventilation out of whack. So that's why I'm investing a lot of time right now into fixing everything properly. Now we're back at this exhaust fan here, the chimney, and we got the new one there from yesterday. We're gonna put it back in here, except today got some help from Feder, and we used the calf mover this time. It's gonna be a lot safer, a lot of room to walk around here. Gonna make this job nice and easy, hopefully. Well, with a bit of struggle, we got it bolted up in there. Now we just gotta wire it in, close this thing up, finish tightening the fan down, and pray to God it works. Okay. Don't touch any of them. Nice, man. That is awesome. She's working. We got to use the calf mover in a bit of a different way today, and it worked out excellent. So we definitely going to keep that in mind if we ever have to do work on the roof of the barn again. 9 out of 10 fans are running. We just need another electric motor for the other one because the motor's shot. And then we'll be back to 10 out of 10 fans running in our main cow barn right there. The last thing we did on the ventilation for this barn is we moved this whole panel closer. I could see there was about a centimeter gap in here. So that would have let a lot of cold air into the barn yet as well. You just do that by adjusting these poles, which are attached on 2 spots, one on the bottom, one on the top. There's a single bolt. You loosen it off, push it in, tighten it up again. And that's how you adjust these. This panel just had 4. It's our shortest panel on the main cow barn. And the whole thing is now moved in. And not quite airtight, but pretty close as we're gonna get anyway. Usually we're kind of a little bit nervous for winter for those minus 40 temps, but now after everything you guys have seen in this video, bring it on, let's go. Pretty confident it's gonna go a lot better this winter in the both barns. we just have a better hand on how to handle that cold weather with the ventilation in the barn. Definitely going to try to keep the temperature in this main cow barn and the pack barn as close to 0 as possible. I think that's going to be the best for our doors. And yeah, that's the plan anyway. The next video you guys are going to see on the farm here is going to be cleaning out the liquid manure pit one last time before winter. As you guys know, we always take it out kind of the end of summer, and then once again in the fall, right before the big freeze is coming. And if we look at the forecast, it's definitely going to get cooler pretty soon here. So we got to get that emptied out yet, but that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. Check out the Instagram @SaskDutchKid, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.